Alrighty, so this is a force of gravity one. So of course for the force of gravity, we're going to use G m1 m2 over r squared, right? And G is of course going to be 6.67 times 10 to the minus 11th Newton meters squared per kilogram squared, right? Okay. And then remember that you know, just like me, gravity is always attractive, right? So the force of C on A is going to be this way, right? And the force of B on A is going to be this way, right? And then this is the force of C on A, right? Yeah, okay, so just remember that, right? Okay. And then we can go ahead and figure out those forces, right? So the force of B on A is G, where G is 6.67 times 10 to the minus 11th, right? And then B is 2.1 million kilograms, right? And A is 1.6 million kilograms, right? A million kilograms. Is that a billion grams? All right, and then the distance for the B is from A. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Every grid line is a meter, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2 up, right? So it'll be the square root of 4 squared plus 2 squared, right? All right, let's do that. 6.67 E minus 11 times 2.1 E6 times 1.6 E6 divided by 4 squared plus 2 squared. Now obviously I don't have to do the square root of the square, right? And that's 11.2056. Okay, and that's FBA, and it's at some funky angle like this, right? Well, here's 0, here's 90 on A, here's 180, here's 270, right? So that angle right there is just the inverse tan of, this is 2 here, right? Your root 2, and then this is 4 here, right? So it's an inverse tan of 2/4. Okay, so let's figure that out. Inverse tan of 2/4. 2 divided by 4, and that's 26.565. That is the trig angle. Okay, so the force of B on A is up and to the right because it's toward B at that little angle there, right? It's the same angle as the angle BA point C or something like that, or point D, right? Okay, it's bad. Okay, here we go. Okay, now let's find the force of C on A, right? And that's of course going to be G, and then C is 630, 6.3 E6, right? 1.6 E6, and then it is 2 over 2 down, right? So square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, so let's take that and 2 and 6.3, 84.042. I'm sorry, 0.42. These are newtons, right? And then the angle there is, I guess we could go through 360 minus 45, right? Or we could go, right? We could say 270 plus 45. That's a 45-degree angle, right? This one is, and so is that one, right? Okay, so it's 315 degrees. Okay, so now we are ready to set up our little thing, right? All right, here we go. Okay. Let's go magnitude. FBA is 11.2056 at 26.565 degrees. And FCA is 84.042 at 315 degrees. And these are our trig angles, right? And then X and then Y And then remember, to get x, you're just going to go magnitude, cos, trig angle, right? For the y, you're going to go magnitude, sine, trig angle. Okay, so let's bust those out. 11.2056 times cos of 26. 10.023. Okay, now I'm going to go, I'm going to get sine. Woo! Just change it to sine. I get 5.011. Right, so that's this guy broken into components, right? That seems reasonable, right? Some to the, a lot to the right, a little bit up. And now let's find this guy here. 84.042 times cos 315. That's 59.427. It's actually 59.4266. 42, I'll say 7. There we go, and that's in the x direction, and then we're going to find it in the y direction. It'll of course be negative that, but let's go for it. Negative 59.427, right? Okay, now let's add these guys, x to x. So that plus that. 69.449. 69.449. Then let's add these guys together. And I get negative 54.415. Okay, so we're going to go over more, down a little, right? Don't mess this up, man. You've done all this work. Identified the directions. You found the forces. You didn't switch this direction with that, you know. That's a common mistake. All right, so let's see. So in other words, you want to keep the angle with the magnitude, right? I've seen kids, they switch these angles, which is sad. It's just sad when that happens. All right. So I'm going to draw a picture of this guy. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go down. Notice I don't go down as much. This is 69.449. This is 54.415. There's my magnitude, my angle. So my magnitude is 69.449 squared plus 54. Now be careful. You don't want to put that minus sign in your square root sign. I gotta get rid of that minus sign. Okay. Squared plus 88.2 newtons is the magnitude of this, right? And now let's find that angle there. That angle is going to be the inverse tan of 69, no wait, sorry, of this guy, right? 54.415. Divided by 69.449. Okay, so second tan of that divided by that. And I get 38.1 degrees, 38.08 degrees. So that angle theta is degrees. All right, so now let's take a look at this. We got 88.2 newtons. You're going to draw this picture, right? You're going to show the arrow like this. Okay, make sure that looks like an arrow, right? Going down and to the right. Okay, you're going to label some angle. I'm always finding the angle with the x-axis. Label it with what it is. Label the magnitude with what it is. Show your components. I think you're done.